I call to order the city council meeting on this July 22nd, 2026. It's approximately 5:40. Mr. Clerk, call the roll.
Councilwoman Baskin.
Present.
Councilman Leon.
Here.
Councilwoman Powell.
Present.
Councilwoman Julian.
Here.
Vice President Stevens.
Here.
Mayor Harris.
I'm present.
You have a quorum.
Please stand for the invocation and pledge of allegiance.
Father God, we pray for your continuing blessings. We pray that you continue to grant your knowledge, your wisdom, and your understanding upon my colleagues and I as we prepare to deliberate on business that ultimately affect your people. Father, we pray that you continue to be our guider, lead us and get us through this entire process. Bless the residents, bless the community at large. And God, we promise we'll give you all the praise, honor, and glory that your precious name deserves. It is in your Son, Jesus Christ's name, I do pray. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right. All right, we got a lot going on today. We got a lot of people here. First, let me start by recognizing all the former council members. Could you guys please stand up and I will recognize you individually? Woo! Man, we got a quorum. Y'all can come up and start a meeting. Let's start over here to my left. First, we got the Queen, former Councilwoman Lily Q. Odom. Yeah, you guys could clap for all of them today. And then we have former Councilwoman Shannon Campbell. Our former Vice Mayor, Lisa Davis. Our former Vice Mayor and current State Representative, Felicia Robinson. And Oscar, what title you held? No. Our former Senator, Oscar Brandon III. Second, third, fourth, third. Okay.
The inaugural council member for seat 6. That's important.
Really. Welcome, everybody. All right. Where am I? All right, we're on approval of minutes, Mr. Clerk.
Yeah, before the council, we got the May 27th and the June 24th regular city council draft meeting minutes for your approval.
All right, I need a motion to adopt those minutes.
Motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Showing none, show the minutes approved. We're on order of business. Are there any items that need to be added, deleted, or withdrawn?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
I have a few things. First one, withdraw. On behalf of Councilwoman Julian, she's going to withdraw presentation 6.4. And then we also have 2 add-on items to the agenda. We have add-on item number 1, which is the acceptance of a donation from FIFA World Cup 2026, sponsored by the city manager. Without objection, we ask that it be added to the agenda as item 12.3. And the second add-on item number 2, sponsored by Mayor Harris, naming the Miami Gardens Performing Arts Center, proposed Miami Gardens Performing Arts Center to the Oliver G. Gilbert Performing Arts Center. Without objection, we'll add that to the agenda as item 12.4.
All right, any other item need to be pulled or added, deleted?
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to
Yeah.
pull item 11.3 for discussion.
Okay, Mr. Mayor, I'd like to also co-sponsor 11.3, please.
Co-sponsor
Yes,
11.3?
Yes.
What's 11.3?
anything else? All right, need a motion on the agenda.
Motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposition? Showing none. Show the agenda adopted. We're on public comments.
No, special presentations.
Special presentation?
Item 6.1, special presentation, commendation to Pastor Percy Ransom, sponsored by Mayor Harris.
Oh. Madam Chief, Pastor Ransom, where are you, sir? Are you here tonight? Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, Pastor Ransom has been with us for a long time here in the city of Miami Gardens. He's retiring from being our chaplain, and we wanted to honor him tonight with this accommodation, and just to let him know that we love him and we're going to miss him. We appreciate your service to the city of Miami Gardens and to its residents, and we thank you for everything that you've done. Chief, would you like to make a comment?
He's been a police chaplain with the police department for over 19 years, and I think that deserves a round of applause, sir. Okay. There's a lot of trials and tribulations we go through as staff within the police department, whether it be personal, professional, and it's always good to have a listening ear. And he's always been there for us as a whole, so we're going to miss him. But he's not going to go very far. He's going to be our emeritus police chaplain, and I just want to introduce a couple of the, if they would stand up. We have some more chaplains that have joined our staff, and we're happy that they have joined our staff. And it's because of him and also Captain Nellie Joseph, who's over the program, is why we have been so, have such a robust police chaplaincy. So thank you so much, sir, for your service over the 19 years. He has survived through the first chief all the way to the current chief. So thank you, sir.
I believe Pastor Ransom was probably our first chaplain, correct? So thank you so much again. And on behalf of the 113,000 residents of the city, we present you with this accommodation, sir.
And also Bishop Gaspar, who's our senior police chaplain who couldn't be here because he's out of town. He wanted to present you with this also. So he says congratulations also, okay?
I believe the next one is mine as well, correct?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, special presentation. No, this is on Vice President Stevens. Special presentation honoring longtime resident, Mr. Edward L. Bethel.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk, Mr. Mayor, thank you. I believe solely that acknowledging individuals that have contributed to our society in a very productive way is so necessary. When having a conversation with Mr. Bethel, I thought it was necessary that we pause and honor his life and legacy. I like to say this as an unofficial statement, but everyone that I come in contact with when it comes down to Mr. Bethel, they call him Uncle Eddie. So I like to say he is the community's uncle. Because everyone, whether they are a resident, a relative of his, acknowledge him by Mr. Uncle Eddie, rather. Mr. Bethel's legacy extends far beyond his professional accomplishments. He is regarded as an educational pioneer whose influence touched generations of students, educators, and families throughout Miami-Dade County. And his career spans from more than 5 decades, and including service as a classroom teacher, media specialist, assistant principal, school administrator, and school nurse. At every stage, his mission remained the same: to uplift and empower his community through education and service, and education and service. And that's why tonight I believe it is very important that we pause and we give someone their flowers while they can smell them, and celebrate what I believe is a true pioneer and a positive contributor to our society here in Miami Gardens. I run into Uncle Eddie on a regular, whether it's at Walmart, at the parks, and he's always, or even at Lorna's eating oxtails. And he is always pleasant and always looking to advance and educate the community through his knowledge. So this proclamation that I'm presenting him with actually comes from the entire council. You'll see where it says Mayor Rodney Harris, along with the entire city council, myself, Vice Mayor Stevens, Councilwoman Katrina Baskin, Councilman Reggie Leon, Councilwoman Michelle Powell, and Councilwoman Linda Julian do hereby proclaim in the city of Miami Gardens the 22nd day of July as Edward L. Bethel Day here in the city of Miami Gardens. Uncle Eddie, why don't you come down and receive this proclamation? That ends my presentation. Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Clerk, what's next?
All right, Mr. Mayor and Council, we're now on to item 6.3, presentation, recognizing the members of the North Dade Municipal Advisory Committee and the original North Dade Charter Commission, sponsored by Councilman Reggie Leon.
Councilman?
Good evening, everyone. Today we take this opportunity to recognize some pioneers in this community. One thing I like to do, I've been on a tour for the last 4 years and making sure that we continue to celebrate our history right here in Miami Gardens, which is a rich history. We celebrated 23 years as a city today. But before that, 26 years ago, there was two groups, two organizations that helped pioneer us to be the city that we are today. One of those organizations are Miami-Dade Municipal Advisory Committee, and then there was North Dade Charter Commission Committee. So before there was a City of Miami Gardens, these two committees came together and did the work in order for us to get chartered as a city. So had it not been for them 26 years ago today, we wouldn't be sitting in this chamber. So we're going to recognize the families. Some people have gone and passed on, but their family members are here. And we just want to take this time to celebrate them as we put them in the history books of the City of Miami Gardens. So, Mr. Mayor, if it's okay with you, can we give these individuals a round of applause?
Yeah, you gonna call them?
Yeah.
To the Honorable Councilwoman Lily Q. Odom. To the Honorable State Representative Barbara Watson, whose commendation will be accepted by former Councilwoman Lisa Davis. To the Honorable Charter Commissioner Patricia Braden, a pioneer. And last but not least, Honorable Councilman Aaron Campbell.
And former council member Shannon Campbell will be accepted on his behalf. Y'all enjoy the photo?
Come on.
Some of them couldn't make it, like Mayor Gibson's daughter was supposed to be here. A couple people they called.
What happened? Who said that? Who?
All right, we went missing, what? I said we went missing. We still got
All right, Mr. Mayor, we're now on to item 6.5, special presentation, accommodation to legal services of Greater Miami, sponsored by Mayor Rodney Harris.
All right. The City of Miami Gardens proudly recognizes Legal Services of Greater Miami Incorporated for its invaluable partnership, professional excellence, and lasting contributions to the Leslie Estates community. The city extends its sincere gratitude to Winona Wendy Wilson, Esquire, Monica Vegas Pittman. I hope I pronounced this right. Groby Noel, Maria Ojeda, Sue Zabudil, Stacy Bazil, and Erica Claire for their dedication, collaboration, and contributions to this important work. Their commitment to supporting individuals and families exemplifies the power of partnership in building a stronger and thriving Miami Gardens. So if you guys could come up and accept this award from this, or accept this commendation from the City of Miami Gardens, and thank you for assisting us with the Leslie Estates community. One more game.
Mayor, can I do this? I just want to bring a little clarity to everyone as it relates to the work that they assist the city with. Many of you may not know, but the infrastructure in the Leslie Estates community for many, many years has been, it's been poor. It's been very bad lately. The roadways, and being that it was private roads, we, the city, couldn't go in there to do anything. But with the help of legal aid and the residents, former Councilwoman Katrina Wilson and our city administration, they worked diligently. Former Councilwoman Felicia Robinson, a lot of us worked diligently to get the residents to educate the community so that they can give us the ability to come into the community now with the homeowners association to actually bring relief to that community. So the roads were really, really bad, but with the help of you all, we're now on our way to improve the quality of life of that community. So thank y'all so much for that. Yeah.
All right, Mr. Mayor, Council, next presentation, item 6.6, special presentation by the city manager.
Mr. Manager?
Good evening, Mayor and council member. Today, here at the City of Miami Gardens, I am here to announce this quarter All-Star Award recipient, Jared Smith of City of Miami Gardens Public Works. I would like to invite Mr. Smith, along with his family, mayor, council members, City Manager Benson, Director of Public Works, Kareth, to receive this award. Thank you.
All right, Mr. Mayor and Council, there's one more special presentation, item 6.7.
Yes.
Special presentation of scholarship to high school graduates by Councilwoman Michelle C. Powell.
Dr. Powell?
Thank you, Mayor. Better late than never. I know they graduated a little while back, but these kids are ready to rock and roll into college. So I would like to honor with the start of the new scholarship called the Rising Star Scholarship for residents of the Miami Gardens area. These two students, a Mr. Vernon McCray Jr., if you would stand and come forward, please. They work hard. Thank you, sir. Come on down. He is going to be majoring in sports medicine, a man after my own heart. His parents, Antoinette Williams McCray and Vernon McCray Sr., has a proud young man who will be entering school at Florida A&M.
All right.
Come on, give it up. Our next honor will be Lavon Jermaine Jones Jr., who will be majoring in mechanical engineering at Bethune-Cookman College, and proud parent of Miss Stephanie Wheeler. Come on down. These fine students will be receiving a $500 scholarship to help contribute to alleviate some of the financial burden of going to graduate school. So I just wanted to honor them today because, you know, if many of us have gone to school or haven't gone to school, these times that we are in for our students are quite challenging times. Many of the scholarships that used to be available to many of our students, if you're not aware of it, are gone. The new laws related to DEI, so-called special assignment, that allowed many of our students to go to college are being removed. So what the council does and do for our students is helpful. It's not everything, but every little bit counts. So I just wanted to thank my council members because they've all contributed to helping students get to college this year. And whether it's college or whether it's technical school, the assistance is needed. And for the people in the audience, if you have or know of someone going away to school, a little care bag could be assistance to them. I just want to say every little thing counts. So with that, congratulations to this great family. Could you bring up their awards, please? Thank you.
All right, we're now on to public comments.
All right, public comments. right. Francis Ragu, followed by Juana Juiced and Rhea Hughes. It's on public comment. Huh? What kid? Excuse me one second. What kid? We were trying to find out the young people who in the front right here. What are you guys here for? Were you supposed to get? Huh? Juana Juice. Okay. All right. Go ahead, Mr. Ragu.
You didn't cut my time, did you?
No, I ain't cut your time. Not yet. It didn't start yet.
Good evening.
All right, your time cut. No.
Francis Ragu, 889 Northwest 14th Street, Unit 102, Miami Gardens, Florida. First of all, let me say, Councilman Reggie, Leon, thank you for your years of dedicated service to us, the residents of City of Miami Gardens. You have given all that you can and delivered most of the things that you have promised when you first came in, and we truly appreciate your service with the City of Miami. We truly appreciate your service with the City of Miami Gardens. That being said, I am in support of that item that you have planted that seed of 11.3. And my comments on it, as I said, though I support everything that you have put forward, I sincerely believe that we need to go one step further. And that step further is as it relates to the lack of parking at the Hard Rock Stadium. Ever since the City Council gave Stephen Ross a $500,000 credit to build the tax benefit to build this, the training center, we have lacked any sort of opportunities from the stadium to go vertical to make up for those parking, especially when you have major events, for example, the Formula One, which take up all of the real estate. We see what the suffer that we have here. I hope that we can go forward with that. Secondly, as it relates to the North Corridor, we have heard all this stuff. May we remind everyone that the North Corridor was approved back when Roosevelt Bradley was the head of the Department of Transportation under Kendrick Meek, and then that money was taken out and head to the west. I believe if it is that we can lobby Stephen Ross to put the powers that he has to encourage the North Corridor with that train, because it's the only corridor that offers for regional transportation, as I've advocated with Florida Department of Transportation and shadowed them on every each way when they wanted to bring just the train, the buses coming up. Okay, this is something that I hope that the council going forward will ensure that we do have that situation, because we don't have the parking to accommodate the events there. So again, thank you, Reggie, for putting it forward, the initiative, and I hope that the council will massage it and we can reap the benefits of your efforts. Thank you.
All right, thank you. We got a lot going on here. Moving around.
One second.
Can I check?
Hold on, I'm gonna give you 1 minute, Ms.
Okay.
Juice. I'm gonna let everybody who wanna leave go ahead. No, if you guys wanted, you guys were trying to leave, you can. Oh, okay. Go ahead.
Can everybody hear me? Okay, good. Good evening, Mayor, council members, and members of our community. My name is Juana Justy, and I am proud to stand before you as one of the coaches for the Miami Gardens Legends flag football team under GCW Sports Organization. I'm here today to respectfully ask for your support in helping fund our youth flag football program and the opportunities it provides for the children of our city. Every week, I have the privilege of coaching young athletes who are committed to becoming better players, students, and leaders. Our program is much more about football. We teach discipline, accountability, teamwork, respect, and perseverance. We provide a safe environment where our kids can stay active, build confidence, and develop life skills that will benefit them in the long run. In 2025, Jamia Thompson, known as Coach Mia, created Miami Gardens Legends, and that investment made a meaningful impact. The funding directly supported children from our community who proudly represented our city while competing against most of the top teams in the country. Most importantly, these opportunities help create exposure that can lead to collegiate flag football scholarships and higher education opportunities for our youth. This year, we are asking for your continued support as we prepare to compete in major out-of-state tournaments in Las Vegas in September 2026 and North Carolina 2026. These tournaments give our athletes a chance to showcase their talents on the national stage, but the costs are significant. We are seeking assistance with hotel accommodations, rental vehicles, airfare, and other travel expenses so that every child has this opportunity to participate regardless of their family's financial situations. In addition to travel, we also need assistance with basic equipment such as flags, footballs, and other essential gear that allows our athletes to train and compete safely throughout the season. These items may seem simple, but they are critical to the success of our program. Every dollar invested in our program is an investment in the future of Miami Gardens. These young athletes proudly wear our city's name across their uniforms and serve as ambassadors wherever they compete. They represent hard work, determination, and the positive future of our community. We respectfully ask for your partnership and support. Any assistance, no matter the amount, will make a meaningful difference and help ensure that our youth have the opportunity to compete, grow, and pursue their dreams. Thank you for your time, your consideration, and continued commitment to GTW Sports. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good day.
Thank you. Ms. Cunningham, you're next, and Mr. Tisdall.
Good evening, Council. Reed Hughes, 3335 Northwest 180th Street, Miami Gardens, Florida, 33056. I don't see a timer. I just want to make sure. Oh.
Keep going, keep going.
Regarding the June 24, 2026 quasi-judicial hearing, my concerns have not ended, nor has my request for greater transparency in future proceedings. I respectfully ask that the mayor direct the city clerk to conduct individual roll call of each council member during the Jennings ex parte disclosure. This creates a clear, audible record and helps protect the integrity of the official record. Agenda item 11.3, a resolution establishing the Miami Gardens Residents First policy. While the feedback from residents helped to prompt this document is needed, I believe the strength of the language matters. Words such as should versus shall can make a significant difference in the intent and accountability of a policy. Stronger language is needed that reflects the expectation of Miami Gardens residents. Agenda item 15.1. I respectfully request clarification regarding the city manager's quarterly report, which states that CIP staff continue providing updates at Bond Oversight Committee meetings. That statement gave me pause. Why? Having attended these meetings for the past few years as it pertains to Myrtle Grove Park renovations, I routinely check on upcoming meetings because cancellations have occurred without notice. In contacting the Bond Oversight Committee chairperson several times this year, only to be informed no meetings are scheduled. Then, in June, I was advised by the chair meetings will resume in September. I respectfully ask that the statement be reviewed to ensure the report accurately reflects the current status and maintains the public trust.
Go ahead, finish.
Okay, last but not least, I vote no for this add-on item of resolution renaming the Miami Gardens Performing Arts Center to Oliver G. Gilbert. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening, Council. First of all, thank you, Councilman Reginald Leon, for 8 years. You've done a lot of things that we will remember, and we are very appreciative. Thank you so much, Ms. Powell, Councilwoman Powell, for co-sponsoring 11.3. 11.3 has been spoken of many times by the residents of Miami Gardens, the different things that's happening with all of the events that we have at the stadium and how it affects the communities, especially Leslie Estates, Brentwood, Norwood, Lake Lucerne. They're all affected, unfortunately, sometimes in a negative way. And the Voices has come up here and made people aware that we do have a concern, first of all, with our safety and what is actually happening when the people come out and how that affects the community. Being that this policy and the way that it's read says a resolution of the City Council, meaning that I'm sure all of you know, you're residents first, then your council people. You're in a position of office, but you're residents first. So please see us as you see yourself, as to what we have to endure during those times. And if you move forward with this consent agenda as a resolution properly named Miami Gardens Residents First policy, meaning that it gives our city manager an opportunity to sit down with all the other entities to find out exactly works best for the city of Miami Gardens, because now he will have something in his hand along with his office to actually prefer with, to say, yes, this is what we have, this is what's happening, these are the stats, these are the specs, this is what has happened in the past. We can show the comparison. So this is why we need to make sure this policy in place. So we want to make sure that all of you, when you have an opportunity to make this policy stick and give it the wording that it needs so it can last for a long time, because it seems like it's going to happen at the Hard Rock for a while. We need all of you to support us. Look at us as residents as you are residents. Please support us, and thank you all again.
Thank you. Ms. Lynette Higginbottom, you're next, and Marcelin Fizami, you're after her.
Mr. Tisdall, 1731 Northwest 11th Avenue. The Florida statute 830.8.9. If I got a sign on my door say no trespassing and no soliciting, why I got all these rabbits running around here and ringing my doorbell asking me who to vote for and asking me who to vote for? They trespassing on my property. I got that sign up there for a reason. Beware a dog. They keep entering my property. I'm gonna have to protect myself because I can't see who running up there, and they bamming on the door and they ringing the doorbell. So if these people are in here tonight, if you're sending these people out there to do literature, you better make sure you know they know how to read, because that sign is up there for a reason. I don't know what school they go to, but you, first of all, you got to learn how to read. Second of all, I came here about May 8th about the four-way stop sign. I ain't heard nothing about it, no speed bumps. Ms. Power, you my councilwoman, you 2,000 feet away. Please, school's finna start in 2 weeks. That street is still terrible. I go out there every day. I make calls to Miami Garden. They come out there every now and then. But again, tell the people that bunny rabbits stop ringing people doorbells, because my neighbors are talking about it too. What's wrong? These people can't read? No soliciting, no trespassing. You don't put to invade my space. I know every time somebody coming to my house, because I'm a very private person, they announce themselves, they don't have to ring my doorbell. So if they sitting out there tonight, you better talk to your peoples. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Tisdall.
Good evening. Lynette Hickenbottom, 20832 Northwest 25th Avenue, in the beautiful city of Miami Gardens. Today, it's on my mind. I know that you guys are going on a recess, and I would like you to think about this and come back with a solution. Myrtle Grove Park has been waiting a long time. I know Ms. Hughes will tell you the history for the fixture and renovation. And I would like, since the council person last has left and nothing was done, I would like to hear a solution when you guys get back after your recess. I also want to thank Councilman Leon for all his service, as I thank all of you, but I know that he's timed out, so, I would like to thank him for all he's done for all our areas, including Lake Lucerne. And remember, I want to see a groundbreaking, ribbon cutting, and everything in Myrtle Grove when you guys get back. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Christine Malcolm and Jennifer Njoku.
All right, Marcel Linfield Zane, 4255 Northwest 203rd Terrace. Good evening, Mayor Harris, Vice Mayor, council members, city managers, staff, and residents of City of Miami Gardens. My name is Marcel Linfield Zane, and I have the honor of serving as president of the Rho Sigma chapter of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated. Tonight, I am proud to officially announce that Mayor Rodney Harris has been selected as our 2026 Public Servant Honoree at our Blue Tie Affair, a celebration of unsung heroes taking place on Saturday, August 15th.
Thank you.
The
Thank
Blue
you,
Tie
guys.
Affair is
Thank
our
you.
signature event celebrating our 99th year anniversary, and individuals whose leadership, service, and commitment have made a lasting impact throughout our community. Mayor Harris embodies those qualities through his unwavering dedication to the residents of Miami Gardens and his continued commitment to moving our city forward. This year's event will be hosted by Big Lip of Hot 105, with Commissioner-elect for District 1, Dr. Steve Gallen III, serving as our keynote speaker. The relationship between the City of Miami Gardens and Rho Sigma has been a strong one, especially when the city honored our organization by naming a street Phi Beta Sigma Way, and we had our then sitting international vice president, David A. Turner, as our guest speaker, who is now our international president. We also did other events as our Adopt a Road cleanup, educational initiatives such as the Adopt a School program at Barbara Hawkins, and so on. On behalf of the Brothers of Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity, I want to personally congratulate Mayor Harris on this well-deserved recognition. We look forward to celebrating him on August 15th. Finally, if the City of Miami Gardens members of the council or community partners would like to show their support for Mayor Harris, we invite you to consider sponsoring a table and joining us for this special evening. Your support will not only honor Mayor Harris, but will also help continue investing in our scholarships and impacting community programs throughout South Florida. Thank you for your time and partnership to the City of Miami Gardens.
Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, guys. I really appreciate it.
Does that come with an honorary membership?
The mayor does have on a blue shirt. I'm just saying.
You guys hard, boy. Congratulations, man. Thank you.
There we go. Christine Malcolm, 18910 Northwest 31st Avenue, Miami Gardens, Florida. I want to begin by addressing the language that's used when residents bring concerns forward. These are not simply complaints. Residents have concerns. They have concerns about their neighborhood, their city, and how we can make Miami Gardens better. Residents who show up, ask questions, and participate in the process should be viewed as partners in good governance. That brings me to agenda item 11.3, the Miami Gardens Residents First Policy. The policy recognizes concerns residents have experienced during major events, including access to sidewalks, traffic, and communications. Those are important principles, but I have several questions. First, were residents involved in the formulation of this policy? If this is truly a residents' first policy, were the residents who are most impacted invited to help create it? Second, why now? During Copa America, residents experienced major traffic disruptions around Hard Rock Stadium. Some residents were directing traffic themselves because of confusion and lack of clear guidance. Why wasn't this policy developed then? During FIFA, I documented a serious safety issue for nearly 6 weeks. The sidewalk along Northwest 27th Avenue between Northwest 199th Street and Northwest 203 was blocked. Residents, transit riders, seniors, people with disability, and visitors were forced into the roadway just to reach a bus stop. I've been in contact with Ms. Miller, the CEO of Miami-Dade Department of Transportation and Public Works. Council members who have served on transportation boards and FIFA-related committees. Who approved the sidewalk closure, and when was the city made aware that residents would lose pedestrian access for nearly 6 weeks? I encourage the city to strengthen this policy by requiring resident participation before event agreements are approved, creating a permanent resident advisory committee, guaranteeing ADA-compliant pedestrian access, holding public debriefings after every major event, and publishing annual reports so residents can see what improvements have been made and what worked and what didn't. A residents first policy should not exist because of FIFA. It should become standard for every major event held in the city, including events sponsored by the City of Miami Gardens.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and council members. My name is Jennifer Nayhoff, and I reside in the community of Lake Lucerne. Councilman Leon, I want to say thank you for your years of service to the city of Miami Gardens and especially to the community of Lake Lucerne. We appreciate all that you have done and also for that beautiful park. We thank you. And I'm also looking forward to celebrating the way we celebrated with Myrtle Grove sooner than later. Thank you. I'm also in support of the item that you have this evening, 11.3, the Miami Gardens Residents First Policy, because this policy is long overdue. This initiative that prioritizes the needs of the people who call this city home. So thank you for this item, and thank you, Councilwoman Powell, for co-sponsoring this item. This evening, I would also like to touch up on traffic light, the speed zone cameras. I respectfully ask the city to reevaluate the placement of school zone speed limit signs associated with the school zone speed detection safety program. While drivers are notified that photo enforcement is ahead, the actual school zone speed limit signs and enforcement times are often placed inside the school zone. This gives motorists little time to recognize when reduced speeds are in effect before entering the zone. In Miami Gardens, we have public schools, private schools, charter schools, and each with different schedules. This can be confusing, especially in areas without flashing school lights. Providing drivers with earlier notice would help them safely reduce the speed before entering the school zone, improving compliance and reducing unnecessary citation. It's just a simple request. Just reevaluate the signs, move them forward so that we don't suffer the consequences. For ideas, I've been to Pinecrest. They have the signage out there. They have both signs. You see when you come in that it is a speed zone reduced area, and then you see the times that it is in effect. So thank you for the time.
Thank you. Mr. Dupree and Jose Espinoza or Espinoza?
Good evening. Before I start my talk, Mr. Mayor, I want to just take the opportunity to thank Councilman Leon for his service to the City of Miami Gardens and his initiatives for preserving our history throughout the city. And you've come a long ways from that little naughty-head boy I knew at Crestview. I'm sorry.
He was my Cub Scout leader.
So thank you for your
You should
service.
have beat him.
I'm Howard Dupree. I'm Howard Dupree, 1734 Northwest 192nd Street. I'm here in support of the intent of the Miami Gardens Residents First policy that's sponsored by Councilman Reggie Leon. However, I respectfully ask that the council do not approve this as a final policy in its current form. Rather, you amend it as a framework for developing a comprehensive residents first policy. For too long, residents have experienced gridlock, roadway closures, restricted access to their homes, disrupted transportation, and inadequate communications during major events at Hard Rock Stadium. A policy called Residents First must provide real protections, not merely express good intentions. The proposed resolution is a valuable starting point, but it relies too heavily on phrases such as, like somebody else said, should, whenever practicable, where appropriate. It does not yet establish the clear responsibilities, measurable standards, enforcement provisions, or public accountability necessary for a comprehensive policy. Miami Gardens
Go ahead, finish.
Miami Gardens cannot resolve these problems alone. Miami-Dade County, its transportation and public safety agencies, Hard Rock Stadium, event organizers, and the city must all have clearly defined responsibilities. The the policy should address residents' access to passes, renters, guests, caregivers, seniors, our youth, persons with disabilities, emergency access, notification deadlines, traffic management standards, public safety staffing, event-related costs, resident complaints, and public reports following major events. I respectfully ask that the council either defer it or amend it to recognize the current document as a framework for developing a comprehensive residents first policy. The council should set a date for certain public workshops involving residents, city staff, Miami-Dade County, Hard Rock Stadium, and public safety agencies, transportation officials, and other responsible parties. I know my time is up, but again, I really appreciate you sponsoring this policy. I think it's badly needed, it's overdue, but it needs a lot more work. So I ask that you amend it to, as a framework, to let's make a comprehensive policy that, you know, that has some
We got you,
enforcement
Mr.
to it.
We got you, Mr.
Thank
Dupree. Got you. Ulysses Harvard, you're next, and then Ms. Laverne Deer.
Good
And then
evening.
Nadar Taylor.
Good evening, Mayor and Council. Jose Espinoza with offices at 235 Catalonia Avenue. I want to start really quick by commending the manager and his team, the work that they put in over the last month. Truly, you all should be really, really proud of it. This event is nothing like the city has ever seen, and they made your city proud, so congratulations, Mr. Manager. We know that these events come with some hiccups, right? There's frustrations. We share some of them. But this, like I said, is an event unlike one we've seen before, and so I'm here on behalf of the stadium to ask for a deferral on this item. We support the spirit of the item. We support putting your residents first, access to their neighborhoods first, but we also know that this policy shouldn't be driven by a reaction to this event that we probably will never see again. The closures and the movement of people that we saw around the World Cup is not something we're used to seeing for Dolphins games, for concerts. The relationship between the city and the stadium is very different for those events that we control. And so we want to take the summer to work with the manager, with the sponsor, with the rest of the council to really build something that's thoughtful, that balances the economic impacts that these events bring to some of the heartburn that they do. And so we're here to answer any questions, and we would appreciate your deferral on this item. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good evening. Do I take the rest of his time too?
No,
No.
you just get 2 minutes. Two.
Good evening, Mayor, Council, and the audience here, residents, Ulysses Harvard, 1850 Northwest 167th Street. I'm here to speak on one of the items that add on the resolution authorizing the renaming, I guess, of the Performing Arts Center. I've been a resident here all my life, and one of the things that I was taught about was perception. And when I saw this, the first thing came to mind is what was the criteria of name a Performing Arts Center after anyone? And I see we have the former mayor on here to name the center after him. When we have people from our community that have been here all their life, such as Jo Marie Payton, who's in performing arts. She's an actress. She started out here, went to school in the elementary school, Carroll City Senior High School, where she graduated from, and she's done major stuff in performing arts that I wish a Performing Arts Center was named after her, which was brought up back in 2005. And I'm hoping that this council will reconsider with the renaming. Also, when I spoke about perception, is more so looking at the idea, this is election season. And with it being election season, the perception, if to name anything after someone who's a candidate doesn't look good especially if any of you up there have endorsed that candidate. That's a real iffy looking thing to me, and looking at the perception of how it would involve the residents here with their taxpayer dollars that are being used for those types of things. Thank you, and I made it to my 2 minutes.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor, Council. I would like to thank Councilman Reggie Leon and for all the work that you have done. Also would like to thank you for sponsoring item 11.3. I am just going to ask for a brief amendment to this item. If you could include securing a portion of ticket sales, parking revenues, or set an annual host fee from event organizers for city programs, as well as require a portion of contracts for local vendors and small businesses. So if you would consider amending this item to include those two, then I'm in support of it, but I will be fully in support of it with that. Thank you.
Thank you. Nadia Taylor.
How we doing today? My name is Kedar Taylor.
Kedar.
Yes.
Kedar. Sorry about that.
It's okay. It's okay. 800 Northeast 195th Street. Okay, so last month we celebrated Juneteenth, a marvelous and festive holiday marking the day in 1865 when Union troops arrived in Galveston, Texas to announce that the last enslaved Negroes were free. Although that day is specifically a Black American cultural event, I was a bit displeased to see only red, yellow, and green colors in the flyers promoting the event and in decorations at the event on social media. Juneteenth is a Black American holiday exclusively. Africanizing the event displays a bit of low ethnic pride, considering Africa was extensively complicit in the slave trade. Our ancestors were not stolen, they were sold. Unfortunately for them, they sold their best and brightest. Next year, I ask that we honor our ancestors with the Juneteenth colors, red, white, and blue, and or the Black American heritage colors, black, red, and gold. Foundational Black Americans deserve to be able to celebrate our holiday without it being co-opted nor outsourced. That's all.
All right. Thank you, Kadir. Kedar. Thank you. All right, showing no more public comments. Public comments are now closed. We'll let these gentlemen in blue exit. Thank you guys again. Mr. Tisdale.
Yes.
Still waiting on that cake.
Yeah.
All right, Mr. Mayor, there's no ordinances on for first reading, no ordinances on for second reading, public hearing, no resolutions, public hearing. We're now on the consent agenda.
I need a motion on the consent agenda.
Motion.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Showing none, show the consent agenda pass.
All right, we're now on to item 11.3, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, establishing the City of Miami Gardens Residents First Policy, providing for the city's policy for the planning, coordination, and negotiating of agreements relating to events held at Hard Rock Stadium, providing for instructions to the city manager, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date. This is sponsored by Councilman Reggie Leon. This was pulled by Councilwoman Julian.
Councilwoman?
Oh, and it's co-sponsored by Councilman
Co-sponsored
Paul.
by Powell.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for recognizing me. And so, Councilman Leon, I love this idea. The idea is really, really good in theory. However, I do understand, and I side with the residents, this lacks clarity for implementation. And there's a number of things that we can go through as it relates to the item. I do know that the manager was also working on something similar. And so I would like to see what, once you're done with what you're working on, Mr. Manager, I'd like to compare that with this item. But just for clarity purposes, some of the things that I saw in this item, I just want to bring it to our attention so that we can have like a fruitful discussion on it. Because at the end of it, we want this policy to be implementable, right? We want to be able to implement it. We don't want a policy where it just states policy, but that our policymakers and or our administrators are not able to implement it. So I'm just going to bring a couple of things. It is always my goal to make certain that before we vote on any policy item, that we all need to just fully understand the item and address the gaps. And so here are some of the gaps that I've identified. So overall, so in the item, it states that passes will be given out to the residents. And so I guess my question is, what's different from the current passes that the residents have now? And then the passes that they would be given?
Well, the residential access pass is something that I created. So what this item tends to do is well, let me just back this up. First of all, the Dolphins has been a wonderful partner for me, for the City of Miami Gardens, as long as I've been a council person, as long as I've been here. This item we have nothing on the books. So when we look at the residential access pass, which I created, during football games, during concerts, during other events that are held at the stadium, these passes don't deliver what they're supposed to be delivered. The communication from the stadium side to the police officers don't quite get out. And you have people telling residents they can, people telling residents they can't. So why I put it back in the item, because what we want to do is have some type of framework that every council that comes can amend this framework, but we have nothing on the books. I'll give you an example. Every morning at 5 a.m., I personally went out, because I go to the gym at 5 a.m., but I made sure that I went through the streets that had closures. Some days I can go through, some days I couldn't. There was no communication. So being that we had nothing on the books, anybody can come into our city, any other agency can come in and tell the Dolphins this is what they're going to do. We had the incident with the sheriff. The sheriff came in. We had a plan with the stadium. The sheriff came in, and they said, we're not going to allow your residents to come through anymore. We had nothing to fall back on. There was no policies or anything in place to protect our residents. So at that point, we had to go with what the sheriff said. Now, this ball was moved in the middle of the court. So when we sit with the Dolphins and we come up with traffic plans, even the Dolphins were shocked, because you had Merrill saying that you could go. The Dolphins administration said, no, that's not a problem. They hadn't realized that the sheriff had changed the ball. So having this in place and listing all of these things, again, they're all up to be amended. You know, this isn't set in stone, but if we have nothing on the books, then people can continue to come in here and take over our city and run our streets when we have no power. This item is looking solely dedicated to the things that we as a city can control, and that's our job, to put something on the books so that we can continue to do that. Also, one of the items that I have listed in there, and we spoke about this in depth, we get about 6,000 calls for service a year on police. What we've seen looking at those numbers, a lot of that comes from events at the stadium. What happens is the stadium has 300 officers at a football game with about 30,000 people. At the end of that football game, those 30,000 to 40,000 people get dumped onto the streets of Miami Gardens. We only have about 20 police officers on a shift for the entire city. We have 2 fire stations. The Dolphins have multiple fire rescues in their facilities during these games. What I've also asked them, and they committed to it, but it hasn't been done, is to make sure that they assist us in a 1 mile radius to respond to their guests who get in accidents. You have people that need fire rescue service. So subsequently, our residents have a delay now in emergency response. When the games are being let out, there are fender benders, there are intoxicated people on our street. We have nothing in place in writing. So what I'm looking to do with this item, and it can be amended, but we have to have something on the books to protect our residents.
Point well taken. I understand what the item is seeking to do. My question was, so we pass this item tonight, the residents get passes. The residents historically have gotten passes, and yet they still complain, and they still can't get home. So what is the difference?
The difference is now that we have enforcement, right? Now that we have an item that we can tell people who are coming in, who are assisting, that they hire to assist with traffic flow. Now we have a supporting document that give our people access. Now our city plays a role in what streets are closed. We have that say-so. That's what the passes does.
I don't know that that's clearly stated in the policy, but again, we can look into this further and amend it because it does need some amendment, because what I foresee is that, again, this is great in theory, but how is this going to be implemented? Because this is not, it doesn't give policy. It doesn't really state what's going to happen. And I'm with you guys. Listen, I get stuck in the traffic too. I'm a resident first and a council member second now. I'm with it, but in order for it to, what I don't want to happen is that we vote on this because it sounds good, right? It sounds good. We vote on it, but then yet it creates more commotion. So all I'm asking is that, such like what Mr. Dupree said and what Ms. Rhea Hughes said and other residents, is that we go through this line item by line item. Okay, so I'll address my second point.
Wait, let me answer you to that one. We set the policy. The city manager implements the policy. So we wouldn't have an operation plan when we're setting this policy, because that's not our job. Our job is policy makers. We don't do enforcement of policy. That's what we have a city manager for. So once we put this in place as policy makers, what we're elected to do, then the city manager will execute.
So what is the plan for the city manager to execute this policy? Because
That's going to be on the city manager to come up with his plan. We give him directions.
I know what
so
we do.
setting the policy gives him directions, then he will come up with his plan to execute.
It sounds good in theory, but if the plan is not set, so Mr. Manager, should this policy pass tonight and we give out passes to the residents and they still can't get into their homes, then what?
Mr. Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor, council members, let me just say this. I have already begun discussions with the Dolphins in regards to a comprehensive approach to how we can address these issues that happen with large-scale events and other things on an annual basis. And so, while I understand what Councilman Leon is doing, and I think some of the information that he's presented will bode well in what I'm trying to negotiate. And by the way, the mayor's involved in those negotiations as well. I can see that some of the things that the councilman has put forward, we can use in furthering our negotiations. But I think what we're, at least from the administration, because you were asked what the manager thinks, I think from an administration, I think the direction that we're going in, and I'd say me, in conjunction with the mayor's office, is that we're looking at something that not only addresses the inconvenience of things, but the cost of things as well. And so from that perspective, that's the direction that we've already sat down and begun those discussions with. If you're asking me if I think that this policy would hinder that, I don't think it hinders it. No, I'm just saying if that's what it is. I don't think it hinders it. It may support it. But from my perspective as your manager, and then overall operations and dealing with these types of issues and things that come up, I don't think this gets in the way of that at all. But I've already begun those conversations, and some documentation of things that I believe that would be important going forward, so that our residents and our businesses are not incapacitated when it comes to those types of events. And I also want to say this: FIFA was a whole different type of ballgame, and trust the fact that the Dolphins have heard me on a day-to-day basis over the last 30 days. And trust the fact that those conversations have not been nice. So this step and the steps that we're taking from the administration side, I believe sends a direct message to the Dolphins that it is now time to really seriously sit down and work through issues that we don't need to have anymore going forward. Now, do I think FIFA will come back again? Probably not. But it could be a concert, it could be a game, it could be anything. And I know a lot of the residents have talked about those activities that impair their movement and things of that nature. Those are the things that we have to take care of. Those are infrastructure needs that we have to address, and those things cost money. So that's the direction I'm going in. That's the direction I believe is in the best interest of the city. And hopefully we'll have a partner in this whole thing with the Miami Dolphins. I think what the councilman has brought forward is something that has been talked about for a minute. From a residence pass standpoint, we have them, and then they use them, then they don't use them. And I think when we come to this overall agreement, hopefully at some point in time, that addresses all of those things, so therefore we don't have to worry about those issues going forward. Thank you.
Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor, real quick. Two things. I don't want anyone to get confused. This is not limited to FIFA. This started a year ago when we had to start collecting data. That's how we got to that number of 1.9 million people that visited this city. This is yearly ongoing. And Mr. Manager, I just have one question for you. Do you have any policy from any council on items in regards to the stadium and what we're looking to accomplish? Do you have any supporting document that helps you in what you're doing when you go to negotiate and when you go to talk to them? Do you have any policies from a council?
I'm sorry, Councilman, I got interrupted. Somebody's phone went. I'm sorry. Go ahead. Ask me again. I'm sorry.
Let me ask you this. Do you have, from any council in the history of Miami Gardens, any policy that helps you when you go to negotiate with the stadium or even addressing these concerns? Is there any policy that exists at this point?
No, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor?
Let me just kind of chime in here too. The manager and I are in talks with the Dolphins and with Hard Rock Stadium. And we have been in talks for about a month now. And just everything that's being asked in this item right now, we are addressing plus more. We are trying to address and make sure. I appreciate this item, I do, I really do. But I think that we may need to defer it so it gives us an opportunity to combine what you're doing or what you want it to do along with what we're asking for and then along with what the public is asking for. And I think that would be the best way to go about it because I don't want to get it wrong. I want to make sure that this time that it's done proper and right. We've had for years over 200 events at that stadium, and there was nothing brought in for Miami Gardens. And then when we finally worked on something for Miami Gardens, the residents said that it wasn't good enough. So I want to make sure that this time when we negotiate something, that the negotiations are done fairly and they're done correctly, and it involves every issue that we've heard from our residents along with what we want to see as a council and as a city.
And I would support that, Mr. Mayor, to a time certain, right? Because as we get ready to go into football season now, we're going into still those people being dumped onto our streets, people not gaining fire rescue access.
Yeah, and
police
let's,
calls
let's,
are still
let's
holding.
not forget that we're not off since we're out on August. We're not off for August. We still working, so we will still be working to ensure that these negotiations definitely take place. Go ahead, Councilman.
Yeah, thank you, Mayor. I want to bring some insight to some of the language that's being used here tonight, because I don't want our residents to have this false narrative that the city of Miami Gardens is authorizing every single thing that is happening at the Hard Rock Stadium and what's happening around the city. I want us to be very clear tonight. There's multiple branches of government that is included in the operations of what take place.
Absolutely.
So when you see road closures, that doesn't necessarily mean the city of Miami Gardens allowed the road closures to take place.
Right.
That does not, this is my time. That does not mean that the city of Miami Gardens allowed for this to transpire. And it's important, though I know we got a group of educated residents present that do know, but it is necessary that everyone understand that there is a big process here, you all. There's a big process that includes everyone. And yes, it may take place. That does not mean that we had a conversation. The mayor hit something very briefly. The mayor said, when the city had not, when there was no MOU in place and we finally put an MOU in place, you all try to recall us. So to that point, yes, let's make sure we do it right this time around. Let's have conversation. Let's get the community involved and let's address it. Let's meet with our great partners at the Hard Rock Stadium and see how we can effectively create an MOU that would help us to continue to benefit for what transpire at the stadium. Because here it is. Yes, I applaud my colleague for putting together a step forward. I do. I think it's necessary. But y'all understand that there's a whole lot of things that the stadium can do without including the city of Miami Gardens. So let's get our partners to the table. Let's get our residents to the table. Let's get our stakeholders to the table. And let's effectively create an MOU or whatever we want to call it to address the issues. That's what I'm saying tonight. If we can, I think the mayor made a great proposal not to go against anything other than let's defer it. Let's have some more conversations. I think the councilman is right. We should put a date stamp on it so that we can effectively cone this out and work with what the manager and the mayor's office have going on and what some of the issues is that we would like to see addressed in the conversation. But I don't want to put the false narrative out because we hear it and we see it. We hear it and we see it. The city isn't doing anything. The city allowed them to do this. The city did this. I brought this to the city's attention and the city didn't do anything. And that is the fault, the least to truth. Because when all these events was going on, y'all got to give me a second. Because when all these events was going on, I called the city manager more than 10 times that same day. Because if anybody is affected by the traffic, Robert Stevens is. I'm on the grounds walking to get to the restaurant. I'm on the grounds walking to get the Walmart. Many of you pass by and wave at me when you see me walking and running. So if anybody is affected by what's going on, it's me. So just like Councilwoman Julian said, I'm a resident first and I'm a council member second. So I said that to say, no, I'm not done. I said that to say that it is necessary that we have to stop with this narrative that the city of Miami Gardens don't care and that we're not doing anything. We have to stop, y'all. Let's work together and let's build a stronger community to address our issues. There's no big I, no little you. We're not fighting each other. We're in this thing to work together. That's all I got. Now I'm done.
Go ahead. Let 'em come back.
So,
I'll
Mayor,
come back.
Mr. Mayor,
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Okay.
Mr. Mayor,
So,
Court-
Mr.
I'ma
Mayor,
come
to
back.
address Councilman Leon and the residents, listen, we hear your complaints and we understand your plight. Excuse me? Your, well, concerns. Thank you for correcting me, and I stand corrected, Mrs. Cunningham. And so, but for me, and I'm gonna give you guys another prime example. I read through every single line item, right? So, perfect example. I'm not bashing this item. I think it's a great item, and I understand what we do as policymakers, as policy practitioners. So I know how this goes, right? I understand the functions of the administration, and I understand our function. Section 2A, the second paragraph states, and if you have your agenda, read it with me. It says residents will be provided with a minimum of 4 resident year-round local access per eligible resident to facilitate resident and household access during one special event. This is contradictory. Which is it? Is it one event or is it year-round? Because the stadium has about 200 events a year. So the point that I was making tonight is that this item feels rushed and there's no clarity in the item. And so before I vote on something, I want to make sure that there is clarity, because you know what's going to happen, Miami Gardens residents? We vote on this item and then it's going to cause more commotion, because you all are going to be saying, well, they passed a policy and they're supposed to be doing this, but the policy is not clear. What I'm saying is that it's not clear. It needs to be flushed out more. This seems to be rushed. You know, I just, it's your last council meeting and you're bringing this item. But for the last 8 years, we've had tons of events at the city of Miami Gardens. We've had tons of traffic. We've had tons of residents coming into the city. But this item is coming on your very last day of your council meeting. All I'm saying is that the item appears to be rushed, and all I am saying is that I am too in favor of deferring the item and having some resident engagement for the resident policy item would be a good idea, so that we can do this correctly and we can do this right. That is all I'm asking.
Well, listen, I'm not going to let you take this item and turn this into a pass, right? These are people's lives. And I don't know if you've ever been out there when people get stuck in traffic or when people can't get fire rescue. So you seem to be stuck on a pass, right? So this is more than a pass. This is making sure that we have access to this city, that we're able to maneuver through this city, and we're looking to control the streets that we can control. Some things we can't control, they're out of our control. But if we don't have a policy in place, then anybody can come in here, including the sheriff, and anyone can do whatever they want. This item creates, well, deferring the item will create us an opportunity to actually sit down, but we need to have something on the books. And I support the mayor's idea, Robert's idea on deferment to a time certain, but we have to have this done right away. But this is not just about a pass. This is more than a residential parking pass, a residential access pass.
Councilwoman, and then I'll make.
may I?
Go ahead.
So, this is a very important item. And I've listened, and I think Councilwoman Linda Julian has made a fine point. I think the mayor's made a fine point. I think Councilman Stephen makes a fine point. I appreciate and I support Councilman Leon bringing this forward. I don't believe that this is not policy. Sometimes we confuse the action that's needed after policy is written to be or should be included in policy. I think what we are talking about today is having something on the books for which action will be taken to lend teeth and support to what the residents are asking. With that being said, I've heard the residents who spoke today. They agree, but that additional information, additional work needs to be written into it. And so with the support of the maker of this policy, I would like to propose that we take this amendment, take this policy, and bring it back with additional information after having those meetings. But I want to say, we need meetings. We don't need silo decisions. That's what I'm hearing the residents say. If this is a resident policy, we're going to need resident meetings. We're definitely going to have our manager and our mayor do their part in the administrative side. But we're all going to have to get together to make this really important and effective for our residents. So if I may, Mayor and the sponsor of this item, if you would like to do the clarification on having this amended.
That'll be the
I'll make a
mayor.
motion to defer the
For-
item.
to-
Second.
Yes, I would like to defer it, but to come back.
Excuse me, Mr. Mayor, just to clarity, you just motioned to defer it, and it was seconded by Councilwoman Julian?
Yes.
Okay.
All in favor of deferring the item for a time certain of, let's
30
say,
days.
the second meeting in September?
So I got a motion to defer made by Mayor Harris, seconded by Councilwoman Julian, to defer this item to the second council meeting held in the month of September.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Showing none, show it deferred till September 2nd meeting.
And Mayor, could I request that during that time and before that time, that we do have a workshop and a public forum for discussion with our residents?
Well, may I make a
Well,
suggestion?
yeah.
I know many of us, like myself, we all have monthly meetings.
Even if it's
So
that.
if we can conduct the meeting,
Sure.
if my colleagues who do have monthly meetings can use that time to conduct those meetings within.
Yes, I do that, and if we would
So, and
all
I-
do
And I
it.
would commit to making my Table Talk Tuesday, the first Tuesday in September, centered around that conversation.
And then
And
get all,
include our partners as well. No.
yeah. So we good. We good.
We're now to item Resolutions 12, Resolution 12.1, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, adopting a proposed millage rate to be levied for fiscal year 2026-27 for operating purposes, establishing the debt services millage rate approved by the legislature in April 2014, setting the date, time, and place of public hearings to consider the proposed millage rate, debt service millage rate, and tentative budget, providing for directions to the city manager and providing an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager.
Mr. Manager?
Mr. Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, this is the resolution moving forward for the setting of the millage rate for next year's fiscal year. The millage rate will be 6.9363, the same millage rate it has been for the last 14 years. And there will be a .4137 millage debt service millage rate in regards to the general obligation bond that was passed in 2014. Staff is recommending the 6.9363 and the .4137 millage rate going forward.
All right. Need a motion on this item?
Motion?
Been moved and seconded. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Showing none. Show the item pass.
All right, item 12.2. A resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizes the city manager to accept that certain donation of equipment from FIFA WC 2026 to support city programs. A copy of the confirmation of donation details is attached here to as Exhibit A, provided for adoption reputation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by the city manager.
Mr. Manager?
Mayor, Vice Mayor, council members, this item allows us to accept equipment that is going to be donated to us from FIFA World Cup, excuse me. And it is over the amount that I can accept, so I had to bring this to council to be able to accept this. It's the use of air conditioning units that they were not able to use or did not use during the past FIFA events. It is a estimated amount in the amount of about $95,000. Staff is recommending acceptance of these units so that we can use them for other programs throughout the city.
Need a motion on this item?
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Mr. Clerk, you want to call the roll?
You can do a voice vote on this.
Or a voice vote? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Showing none, show the item pass.
All right, item 12.3, a resolution of the City Council, City of Miami Gardens, Florida, authorizing the renaming of the Miami Gardens Performing Arts Center, authorizing the naming of the Miami Gardens Performing Arts Center to the Oliver G. Gilbert Performing Arts Center, providing for adoption representation, providing for an effective date, and this is sponsored by Mayor Harris.
I sponsored this item. The commissioner obtained $33 million for the Performing Arts Center. Everyone here is familiar with the work that he's done in this community, and I thought that it was only fair that we place his name on the community, on the Performing Arts Center. That's where I stand with that. Speaking to the, you need to speak into the.
I'm asking to co-sponsor.
Okay, I'll note the record that you as co-sponsor, Vice Mayor.
I need a motion on this item.
Motion.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any questions or concerns? Showing none.
I do want to say, I heard one of the residents' concerns, and that's a valid point to take in as it relates to naming of individuals within the community. Mr. Manager, correct me if I'm wrong, there's multiple parts of the performance arts center that we will still be able to add names to in honor of individuals in our community. Is that correct?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor, that is correct.
Okay, so I just wanted to make sure I put that out because those are valid concerns, and if we can find ways to continue the honoring of individuals that have contributed to our community in the arts or in general, that we do that. So thank you for that.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes.
Are you, in regards to what you're saying, in naming other parts of the facility?
Correct.
With the understanding that that will come with some kind of contribution.
Correct.
Moving forward.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Correct. Because for an example, like the black box and all of those things that would be included.
That's
Thank you.
correct. Okay.
And go ahead.
Mr. Mayor, I question just for clarification, because the resident did bring up concerns about the policy and procedure for naming. For clarification, and I asked maybe the city clerk or the attorney, do we have or have established a protocol and procedure for naming for the city?
We have different policies for different, I'm sorry, Mr. Mayor, may I?
No, go ahead.
We have different policies for different things. We have a codified policy in our ordinances for street namings. We have a resolution as it relates to buildings. But the resolution for naming buildings just says that the person has to be of significance to the city. And so I think the mayor stated that Commissioner Gilbert secured $33 million for the Performing Arts Center, so I believe he would fall within the guidelines that were previously established by City Council.
But I'm addressing an actual detail, like what's significant, what amount, what constitutes significant, alive, many things are named after people have passed, different criteria. I didn't know whether we actually have in place a criteria other than that they've made, and the selection of that person or people, we don't have a process in place?
No.
Okay.
Not for buildings, if that's what you're asking.
Okay, for buildings, all right. Thank you for that.
Mayor, if I may, I do believe, Councilwoman, that we do have a policy in
For
place
roads.
as it relates to roads, street renaming, so maybe.
All right. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposition? Showing none, show the item pass.
All right, there's no quasi-judicial zoning items tonight. So now we're going on to the report to the mayor and city council.
I think it's fair that we maybe either cut our report short tonight or designate this time to honor Councilman Reggie Leon, this being his last night as a council person with the city of Miami Gardens as far as meetings are concerned. I wanted to take this opportunity to thank you for your service, your commitment to the city of Miami Gardens and its residents. You were a great vice mayor, you're a great council person, and you're a good friend. So I appreciate you. I appreciate everything that you've done. Wish you nothing but the best. And whoever fills your shoes, they got big feet to fill. All right, so thank you so much.
Mayor?
And I have to run because I got some personal issues I got to take care of.
No, you're good, Mayor. We'll keep your family in our prayers. Councilman Leon, I just want to congratulate you on successful 8 years of serving. We have had our conversations on the dais where we agreed or we didn't agree, but more than anything, your heart for the people, your heart for the city of Miami Gardens. Definitely don't go. Where you going? You got to get. Everybody got something to say. Don't go unnoticed. You have worked diligently for your residential area in the city at large. So I just want to commend you. It's been a pleasure serving with you over these last 6 years. For 6 years for me, you was on the council for 8, and it is my prayers that God continue to bless you and your family. Councilwoman Julian.
Thank you, Vice Mayor. Councilman Reggie Leon, thank you for your 8 years of service to the city of Miami Gardens. You've been my residential council person for the last 8 years, and I can say that residential seat 2 has been in good hands. And so I commend you, I thank you, and I am wishing you all the best on the journey ahead.
Job well done, Councilman Leon. I never thought a childhood friend running around my church at Vacation Bible School would be a council member for our city, but you have done a great job, and I wish you well on your journey.
Dr. Powell.
Wow. I don't know if you remember, Reg. I remember when, I'm going to call him Reggie now, that when he was running for office the first time, and I met him at Walden Palm, and I was saying to myself at that time, just a doctor, why would anybody want to run for office? And I spoke with you, and one thing that he kept saying over and over again, and through the years I still hear him say it, because I want to do something for the people. I want to do something. I want to be impactful. And you have. And it was my pleasure in this past, going on 2 years now, being here to be able to see what impactful looks like. Thank you.
Before you speak, Councilman, let's get to our charter officers, Mr. Manager.
I'm sorry, so there's no reports, correct? Okay, no problem. Councilman Leon. It has been an honor and a pleasure to work with you. We have accomplished a lot together. I believe your district is the current only district where all of the general obligation bond projects have been completed. Now everybody's talking about, why would you say that? Because it's true. So, you know, I get all the other stuff, you know. But I want to thank you for nudging me at times. And I appreciate the nudges because it gave me an opportunity to rethink, reset in some cases. I didn't always agree with them, but they were necessary. So I wish you the best in whatever you do, your next steps. If you ever need me, call me. I'll always answer the phone. And I appreciate the recognizing the efforts that the administration puts forth in ensuring that all activities positive for this city happens. And you've always been that person that's always called and said, good job, thank you, and I appreciate that. So I wish you the best, and again, if you ever need me, call me. Thank you.
He spoke longer than the council people. In any event, Councilman Leon, I wish you the best on your future endeavors. You know, you've been a pleasure to work with from a city attorney's perspective because you were always willing to listen. You would always come in with your position, but you always were willing to say, well, what do you think? And you always took advice. You know, you always did. And I appreciate that as a professional. We don't get that all the time. We get pushback, fights, show me, whatever, but you've always been willing to listen and to adjust. If you had an opinion on the way things should be done, you would always be willing to listen and then to adjust. And also my recollection of what you did, I think one of the most valuable things you did for the city of Miami Gardens was during COVID. You got busy, boots on the ground, made sure residents got whatever they needed as far as vaccinations. You were pushing in your quiet way, and that's what Cameron is talking about. The reason those parks and all, you have a quiet way of getting it done, but you get it done. So congratulations to you, and thank you for all that you've done.
Mr. Clerk?
Man, I think they said it all. I don't got nothing else to add. Councilman Leon, you know, it's been a pleasure to work under your leadership. I really appreciate the times of like like the city manager said, of you nudging and pushing to think outside the box. For me, I remember when you used to come in as a resident when I was a deputy city clerk, and to see you rise up to a council member and to be a pivotal person in this community, you know, you deserve your flowers and you deserve all the applauses. While we talk about everything for the city that you've done, the one thing that sticks out to me is we had council meeting and I wasn't able to get my UPS package and some Jordans. And you made sure they came back here and brought me my package, and I still had them Jordans. So I appreciate that. Thank you for your service, sir.
Councilman Reggie Leon?
Well, it's been a pleasure serving the community that I grew up in. I remember when this facility was a bank. I think it was called First Union Bank, right? And we would ride by here. We would play in the dirt that's now the stadium. You know, we used to, as kids, go right next door. The Mint had a little mailbox, and we would peep in, right? You know what the Mint is, right? So that's just the history of being in this community, right? But on a serious note, being able to leave this seat and not leaving it the way I found it is a wonderful testament. I talked to Jennifer Nehova, and she said make sure Lake Lucerne was never forgotten about. And I think I accomplished that. In my neighborhood, in these communities, when you see speed bumps, you know, that's something that we make sure that we work toward. When you see ADA compliance on your streets now, leaving a legacy, even tonight's meeting, right? The whole point of the Residents First agenda was to get a conversation going. Now we're gonna have follow-up, right? That's the whole strategy of creating a policy. You know, you get the conversation going, and now, as I leave, I'm leaving a legacy of Residents First, because now my colleagues now have to finish that work that I've started. And it will truly impact each and every one of you. I wanna say the most fun and most impactful to me is our night camp. People entrusted me with their kids, bringing their kids there every summer. Thank you, Mr. Manager, for sponsoring it. Bringing their kids there, leaving their kids. We have a lot of employees that bring their kids there. And the things that these kids walk away with, talking to judges, doctors, lawyers, they understand that they can be what they see. And we put it in front of them, and they can do that. Working with everyone. I came from corporate America. So corporate America is very aggressive. We don't have to go through a lot. It was hard adjusting to a city because there's so many steps. In corporate America, you say, hey, I want this done. You turn around and it's done, right? You don't have to go through this, go through that, go through this. But each and every one of you, each and every director, I respect them in their positions. Chief Pratt, we came a very long way. You've done a wonderful job. We implemented calls for service. We wanted to really dig deep. And that started from, I missed my mom's last birthday because my neighbor came to me. and said, I'm waiting on the police to come to my house. So I stayed with my neighbor to make sure the police came to her house, but then I realized that we had another problem. And we worked diligently with the chief and Cameron to get that fixed. And, you know, it wasn't easy. It got tough, but we got that fixed. And everyone was in the boat. I remember when Cameron was riding around picking up bumpers, putting them in the back of his truck because we wanted to make sure that our streets were clean. We wanted to make sure that companies that we hired did what we paid them to do, because we believe in first-class service. That's why the city was created for us, by us. Working with Ms. Paulette, Tamara, I think we may have gotten off to a rocky start, but we worked that out, the information, understanding people in their strong areas and knowing how to use those people is very critical in this role. Everyone that sits over there has a very strong area. And if you understand people and you understand how to motivate, you don't have to cuss people out, you don't have to yell at them, you find their strengths and you play into their strengths and they will move mountains with you. And I can say that about each and every one of those people over there. Craig, let me tell you, we couldn't get $1 out of Craig.
Still can't.
We could not get $1 out of Craig.
Still can't.
But Craig finally came around and understood what we were doing when we hosted events and when we were bringing this community together. But he was going to make sure.
I did not. But the mic is still on. Oh, go ahead. Just project your voice. But we came into this group of people. We really got a lot done. Mario has been challenged, and he's met every expectation of those challenges. Our city attorney, one of the best city attorneys around. We would argue, and she would show. We didn't argue, but she would show her point. I wasn't disrespectful, but she went in and she showed me her point, and she said, if you want it, well, this is how we would have to do it. So she has a willing heart to continue to work for the people. There are residents that are being affected by the things that we do every single day that may not come in here and take their 2 minutes. That doesn't mean, Francis, you can have it. But they don't come in here and use their 2 minutes. But they benefit from all of the work that we've done, and it's been a pleasure. Miss Lynette Hickenbarger, all of the plants that you got outside, and we try to keep code enforcement from going over there. But thank you for all the work that you guys do, and thank you for all of you that come in and hold us accountable, because we need that. We need that. Miami Dolphins, you guys have been a wonderful partner. You guys have been a great partner, but there's still things that we have to do as a community. And certain things you don't see what we see, and we don't see what you see, but together we can get those things done. So that ends my report. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, let's give Councilman Leon a big round of applause. Thank you once again, Councilman. And before we adjourn this meeting, we want the Murder Grove community know that we're working. All right. Can I get a motion to close this meeting out?
Motion second.
It's been moved in second. Y'all have a great summer. Thank you.